This is one of the worst sets I have played in a very long time. But it might also be one of the most important. So, mixed feelings about sharing it, right? It's going to be interesting. This was... get this updated here. This was a follow-up to the previous week, obviously. Sorry about the camera discipline here. I don't think Brother Man's aware of things. If you haven't seen that video, I would say go check that out. I'll throw up a card. But that was the first match of being in this new league. And a bit of a chip on my shoulder about, I'm on this new team, I gotta prove myself, I gotta make this work. Basically, he breaks dry, I run down a few balls in this first rack, I get down to a 4-9 combination that was a little touchy, kind of off angle, and it doesn't cooperate. This guy, I had not played him before, all these guys are new to me. But he has kind of a, you know, fast and loose sort of style, and knows how to play on these tables. Very comfortable right away, and I'd seen him in the background. You can actually see him in the background of my previous video. Bit of a reputation as a good player based on just what my teammates were telling me. And I came in not settled, but eager to get some opportunities to hopefully settle back down and make something out of this. Left with a long, tough cut on the 5, hit it too full. Those are tough shots. Shouldn't really get thrown off by that. Doesn't finish too terrible, and I leave him with a bit of a tester here as well. But to his credit, you know, he's willing to shoot the ball in. He's not trying to roll anything, and he's not trying to ease anything. And with 9-ball, you know, you got to be willing to just fire at him sometimes and try to make something good happen. He tries to roll it in and immediately gets punished by it. I don't remember what he's saying here, but he's just reminded pretty quickly that you can't roll the ball on these tables. Hey, camera discipline, there you go. Make a good recovery shot here, but it's just, yeah. How do you control for that? Didn't feel like I put a ton of speed on it. I'm shaking my head. I think he and I were talking a little about it throughout the match before I clammed up. Here's the first example in this set of, you know, this isn't a hanger, I guess, but very makeable ball. This is supposed to be a 10 out of 10 for me. And it just sort of like drifts off, or like I mishit it and swerve at it, or something weird happens there. And that's part of why, you know, I was just not thrilled about having to face the commentary on this, but that it's so important because this happens to everybody. And this happens to me, and this happens to the pros, and, you know, we all have our off days. The question is, what do you do with it? Like, can you remain composed? Can you keep a level head? Can you take the opportunities that are given? How do you respond when everything is going wrong? And part of it I addressed in the previous commentary video, just based on the personal stuff that's been going on. Here again, a great opportunity. Very open table with the exception of a little bit of a cluster here that'll need to be addressed. But bringing personal stuff to the table, yeah, incidentally, this 3-9 looks a lot like the one in the last set. But yeah, just not feeling great, and then coming in after that first match that didn't really go my way, not only because of the loss, but just because of the way I was playing, and that it didn't feel like my process was really intact. I managed to get on the good side of the 2-ball here, and I try to follow out and around. Basically wanted to come into the long rail and back out, but I get short side a little weird on the 3. 3 doesn't pass the 9, I don't think, and so I have to consider just trying to roll him up on the 9. Simple safe. Oh, I attacked the 9. Could have gone. Speed was slightly off there. I think the cut on the 3 was pretty good. He's got to make a good shot to get on the 4. Sort of bobbles the 3 in, and it's going to pay off. He plays into the window. Yeah, it's interesting. He's clearly an experienced player, skill level 7-9. He's got a very sort of nonchalant style. Big break, not afraid to put some power into it. Doesn't really get much out of it, though. And I'm faced with a tough situation here, not really a ball to shoot at. You can even tell. I mean, look at my body language, look at my pre-shot routine, lack of the air strokes that I normally do. So a great example of just sort of the exhibit of carelessness. Like, I'm not willing to settle back into my normal process. Yeah, you just try to rifle it. Well, okay, that's one way to make it. You just try to rifle it in. He had some friends there, or teammates maybe. And what's so interesting, guys, is usually the room conditions don't really get to me too much. I don't really pay too much attention to that. But the worse this gets, the more those things start to enter my awareness, and it's really symptomatic of just how poor the mental game was, how much that was worming in, and becoming aware of these things that normally don't show up for me. This is just an attempt at a safe, but gonna sell out the 2. There's a pretty good chance that the 2 lays up behind the 7. I think in that case, probably again, just carelessness of not really committing to, am I playing the cue ball, am I playing the object ball? Play neither, get neither sort of approach, which is not a winning strategy. But I was way too focused on all those extraneous details, like how much are people talking, how loud are they being, what's the music that's playing right now, how annoying is this song. Sort of a hit and hope at the 3 gives me a look at it, and believe it or not, the 3 passes the 4, but it's very thin, basically half the pocket. Still enough room on these tables. Low outside to encourage it towards the pocket. I should be able to slide off and across. This is the kind of shot that could settle me. Bit more of a process there, right? I look a little more composed. Got into that pretty good. End up coming past the 7. So I put a good amount on that. And I get all but perfectly straight on the 4, which is unfortunate because it's hard to negotiate this across table for the 5. I'll have to put a similar stroke on this to get across, and I'll also have to basically cut the 4 into the rail to manufacture an angle. Yeah, hit that pretty well. From here, trying to hold the cue ball is dangerous, so I immediately look at basically coming across the 6 to play the 6 in the right-hand side. I'll get the autofocus fixed on future videos as well. The exposure was off. I rushed into the second match in terms of the recording, and I didn't use my normal approach, surprise, surprise, of locking the exposure. I get sort of on the wrong side of the 6 ball here, but this is easy enough. You don't want to roll these in like I mentioned, but if I am able to roll this in, I'll be on the 7 in the bottom left corner. Oh, it looks like I can just pinch this. Okay. Again, this isn't out. This is supposed to settle me. I'm perfect on the 7, a little on the wrong side of it, but it doesn't matter, man. You should just be able to roll up from here. And here's case number 2 of you're going to dog a 7 ball. An easy, we'll just go ahead and say it, an easy 3 ball out. Pure mental. It's hard to watch. it's especially hard to watch. And I was reflecting on this in the shower today, as it happens, where historically, and I can't remember if I've ever mentioned this on the channel, but I've had this insecurity, this like fear, like nightmare style of, you know, what happens if one day I just like completely forget how to play? You know, like obviously it's completely unrealistic, you know, like nightmare fears tend to be, insecurities tend to be. But it's this idea that like you're just gonna like completely lose it one day. You're just gonna completely forget how to play. You're not gonna be able to make a ball. You're not gonna see the patterns. And I think on that deeper level, you know, the deeper psychology behind that is basically like the fear of being out of stroke, of getting tilted, of being thrown off. And this match was nightmare fuel for me, because especially because I had been playing so well. I think this in stark contrast to what happened at the Fiddlesticks tournament, which like is my game right now. That's the level I'm at. Maybe higher end of the level, but still, like when I'm playing well, when I'm playing solid, that's what it's supposed to look like. 3 passes the 7 here. The trick is the 6 to the 7. As long as I stay above the 6, I should be able to come out and up, shape the 7 in the top left corner. If I get too flat on the 6, there's an option to go elsewhere for the 7, but you just don't want to have to move the cue ball too much. So realistically, this should look like a stop shot, if not like pinch draw. Okay, I kind of decided to stun out. So I'm probably pretty flat on the 6. This was a very open table. End up rolling into the 7. Very open table, very manageable positional play, complicated by a weird 6 to the 7 ball, but salvageable, right? This is a makeable shot. It's very similar to the 3 ball that I hit earlier. This is kind of thin on the 7, low outside, comes straight across the table, a little bit of spin to encourage it up to the 8. Just shank that one. And naturally the 7 ball is going to want to dress up for him. At this point at the table, I'm fully tilted. This is the third 7 ball that I've missed. I don't know what it is about the 7 ball in this set, but the third 7 ball that I've missed. Not that this shot was super easy, like the other 2, but come on, man. And once your mind is in that place, it can be hard to pull yourself out. So let's talk about what we do, what we're supposed to do. You go take a break, you go to the bathroom, you go step outside. Some of the stuff that I've talked about plenty of times. You might have to shoot a couple shots to stay loose. Shane is super loose in this whole set. Like, what does he care where the cue ball ends up for the 9? You don't have to get cute. You're just always going to make it. Yeah, if you've got some earbuds, like put on a nice song. Look at, you know, some pictures or video of friends and family. Like, literally anything, man. Like, pull yourself out of it. Sure, 9 ball on the break. There you go. 5-0 in the blink of an eye. Yeah, it was a horror show for me, guys. Terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, as they say. A bit of work to do here to get from the 3 to the 2 to the 3, but he's able to come across the 1. Played that pretty nice. Draw this back up for the 3, or can he get around, use rails? He had to go through it. But he can't scratch. It's just not that kind of day. It's nice. It's nicely played. Good speed. That's the other thing that'll worm into is like weird resentment for your opponent playing well. I do not like that expression in my game. It doesn't come up often. Typically I'm neutral. Oh, it didn't go. Typically I'll come up neutral, or worst case, oh, he fluked the 5. Sure. Forgive me for empathizing with myself in this situation. Typically I'll come up neutral with like opponent's play. Or positive, where it's like, heck yeah, like you're playing some pool. You're really playing pool right now. Good for you. In a genuine way. Like, I think it probably sounds sarcastic right now because I'm having a hard time watching this. That's nicely played. The 7 cooperates and goes down, and he played good speed. And he can just kind of settle and get through that 8 ball. Just not really too concerned about where it goes. He just knows he's going to make them. 6-0. Surely at this point, as a viewer, you're seeing this and watching and being like, Anthony's got to get 1, right? There's no way he gets the goose egg here. I would think that about myself. I would like to. I don't know, guys. It's a short video. You saw the runtime, I'm sure. Can I actually play some pool here today? This is a good recovery shot. Bit of awkward bridging around the 3 and the 5. I get reasonably straight on the 2. I have to pinch back to get good on the 3. A little bit of an angle to carry me from the 3 to the 4. This is well played. This is good speed. To my credit, this rack showed some good composure. I'm able to stay in line for the most part and played this well. This one is touchy to be able to get away from the 8 without making contact with the 8. You'd really like to get that line on the 5 that takes you towards the 6. So ideally you would, you would go this way to get under the 5. So then at least you can get a look at the 6. If you end up here, normally you might be tempted to take the 5 in the top right corner. There's not as much of a future to get on the 6. You'd have to be out here into the 5 and back down. So I was able to get around the 8 ball. This one's, it's kind of tough. This is kind of a tough spot. I think I'm flat enough on the 5 to where, yeah, I can draw out to this rail. If I can impart some spin on the cue ball, it might help me get down below so I get back on the 6. Yeah, that should be pretty good. I can't tell if I actually got the edge of the 6 or not. Worst case, I have to go rail first, but I feel like I'd still need to attack here. If I have a shot on the 6, it's pretty natural to get above the 7 to play the 7 in the side. I had it, yeah, camera angle trickery. But again, good recovery shot. And these are good patterns. This rack is supposed to settle me. I stun through this to try to maintain an angle on the 8. I come away with a weird position here. I think you're supposed to go into the 8 and follow out for the 9 like this. I try to stun across. It's asking a lot from the cue ball. And I end up with cuttable 9, but a missable 9. And the way this set's been going so far, you just really don't want to add any pressure. So I needed to get better shape. And I'm going to dog that 9 ball. Do I lay it up in the side? Not really. He's going to fire this in, though. Oh, he's going in the corner. And he leaves me a long back cut. Still alive. He didn't just end it. You just got to bear down and make this ball. There's no getting safe. I don't see any way to kind of get creative here. I think some players might try to bank it, but I don't love the bank from here. I'm gonna go into this reasonably full, like 3/4 of the ball, low outside. I can fire them in too. Don't scratch. All right. It's not a whitewash. That break shot was pure anger. No finesse, no control. This is, I am on tilt, and I'm gonna hammer these balls. I get funny on the 2. It's playable. You can cut this in the side and avoid the scratch. You could bank it back, I guess. Probably the better play is to go safe. If I can tuck him up under the 7 somehow. I'm looking at a bank 2-way, so I'm looking at playing the 2 ball here and having the cue ball come down. Missed it by a lot. Hit it up here. It's gonna lay up for him. Nothing crazy here. I mean, 4 ball goes, then the 5 ball is gonna go. The 8 and the 9 are a little funny. A lot of distance from the 7, but oh, he plays to the other side of the 4. He is gonna blast him, I believe. I'm not sure. Yeah, he just blasted him, I guess, unless he saw something off the 4 ball. There's a cut on the 4. There's a lot of distance here. This is a very missable ball. If you cut this, you're either going to track out to the 8 or you'll come out towards the center of the table. But because you have to put so much more of a stroke on these to shoot this in, it's easy to get very far away from the 5. So I try to hold it, and it does not go. And I sell out basically a straight-in shot on the 4. He should be fine here. He just needs to kind of settle and bear down on the 5 to the 7. He wants to stun out a little bit to get straight on the 7. 8 goes on the left-hand side. Yeah, which he knows. Almost perfectly straight. He could stop it here, or he could just roll through. Yeah, simple enough. Whoa, rolled off on him. Really doesn't matter. A little bit above the shot line, so he might shape the 9 in the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, just roll through it. And that is going to be it. And then we just verify. I was so in my head that I didn't even realize. Yeah, a little frown and shake of the head, which is basically just me pouting, which I don't love. So, ungracious. I was unkind with myself. I didn't do anything like unsportsmanlike. That's just not me. That's really not going to happen. Hopefully that never happens. But yeah, I came home really salty. Had a call with my dad to vent. This is like the absolute depth of the slump that I was in. And I do say was because I figured it out. I got out of it, shot out of it, in no small part thanks to a lesson that I took recently. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to post some content about a lesson that I had with Max Eberly. Shout out to Max. And it was just what I needed. It was amazing for me. And I'm back to feeling good, back to playing well and using my skills. So big picture reflections. I have to find a way to be curious, not furious. You have to engage with this. You have to embrace this. We're just people. We're not pool playing machines. We cannot play perfectly all the time. Certainly not at my level. It's just not going to happen. You cannot expect that from yourself. So the best thing you can do is cope with it effectively, be kind to yourself, try to find some fun in the game, and know that there is that sort of sawtooth experience of pool where it's dramatic ups and dramatic downs. That's part and parcel. So very important takeaways here. And I have to try to engage with these videos where I'm not playing well and I'm salty and I'm like not behaving well at the table to just be kind and patient with myself and express gratitude for the game. It's a wonderful thing that I'm able to do this, that I have this in my life. And by that same token, I'm very thankful for all of you for checking out my videos, for hanging out with me, for being very supportive in the comments. It's been such a wonderful, wholesome community that we have here. So I'm very thankful for all of you. That being said, like I mentioned earlier, I have figured it out. I had an epic night at regular league last night. I didn't record it. I'm not recording my normal 8-ball league. That one's just for fun. And it turns out that's therapeutic to some extent, going in and just trying to play for fun. And there is more content on the way. Like I mentioned, the lesson with Max, I'm going to put some stuff up from that. And then some other higher level play is coming, and more tournaments in the immediate future. So onward and upwards, that is the intention for now. So in the meantime, I hope you all are doing okay. And thanks for checking out the video. You will see more of me soon.